Wolves were once the world's most widely distributed mammals, but today their ranges have been reduced by over a third. These animals are not too different from our closest companions, yet we treat these two animals in very different ways. One of the main reasons behind the wolves' decline over the past few hundred years is human-wildlife conflict, as many wolves are killed after they attack livestock. There needs to be a solution to this conflict in the future, as the grey wolf is one of the world's most iconic predators. As these animals can be found in so many different places around the world, there are quite a few subspecies. Each of these populations are adapted to a different way of life, and some experts believe that certain wolf subspecies should be regarded as separate species. Today there are around 38 recognised subspecies, and in today's video I will be going through some of the strangest and some of the most unique. To find our first subspecies, we will be heading to the Pacific Northwest, as we will be taking a look at the Vancouver Coastal Sea wolf. This subspecies is also known as the coastal wolf or sea wolf, and it is endemic to the coast of the Pacific Northwest. These animals may not look too different from other wolf subspecies, but it's their lifestyle that makes them unique. These canines live a semi-aquatic lifestyle, and their diet is almost entirely marine-based. They are known for being extremely elusive and hard to track down, and they are slightly lighter than their interior counterparts. Because these wolves mostly feed on marine animals, they have to travel long distances in search of food. When they do this, they're not afraid to get into the water, and they are known to travel up to 7.5 miles between land masses. These movements are sometimes seasonal, as they follow certain species of fish along their migration. Between 75 and 90% of their diet is sourced from the ocean, and a quarter of this is salmon. These wolves only tend to eat the brains of the salmon, and this is thought to be a way to avoid bacterial infection. This is quite a smart thing to do, as salmon poisoning can be fatal to canines, and bears are also known to favour the brains of salmon. These wolves can be found in areas such as the Great Bear Rainforest, but you can count yourself lucky if you spot one. They are often heard and not seen, and they usually keep away from human activity. Even though there are only a few hundred of these animals, they are not safe from human hunting. There are no real reasons why we should hunt these animals, as they very rarely come into contact with humans. The fact that they are so elusive keeps a lot of them safe, but they shouldn't have to fear humans at all. One of the main reasons why humans hunt wolves is because of human-wildlife conflict, but these wolves don't really feed on livestock. Another reason is that people think they're dangerous, but between the years 2002 and 2020, there were only 26 fatal wolf attacks throughout the world. 14 of these attacks were due to rabies, and a large percentage of these attacks were provoked. This doesn't seem like a valid reason to shoot these animals, but for some reason we still do so. In places such as Yellowstone National Park, wolf reintroduction is still controversial, but really reintroductions such as this are essential. The last wolves of Yellowstone were shot in 1926, and there were only a few sporadic sightings after this. These animals were reintroduced into Yellowstone in 1995, and so far this reintroduction has been successful. People complained that the wolves would kill all the elk in Yellowstone, but large predators are needed in healthy ecosystems. For some reason, some people believe that we need to control ecosystems, and we need to regulate the number of animals ourselves. This is simply not the case in a healthy ecosystem, and even though we need to control the number of some animals, that's essentially because we've gotten rid of most of the large predators. Deer populations are exploding in many parts of the US, and this is partly due down to the elimination of wolves in certain areas. If we want a healthy ecosystem, we have to coexist with wolves, and they shouldn't be eliminated just because they prey on livestock. There are certain non-lethal ways that you can deal with wolves, such as using non-lethal rounds and guard dogs. If more people tried out these solutions, then the ecosystem would benefit, and we'd have more interesting wolf subspecies such as the Vancouver Coastal Sea wolf. Thankfully, their elusiveness is helping them at the moment, and hopefully their numbers will grow in the future. For our next subspecies, we will be heading over to Australia, as we will be taking a look at the dingo. Now, the dingo is and isn't a subspecies of wolf depending on who you ask, as some people class it as a subspecies of wolf, and others class it as a separate species, or even a subspecies of dog. A large number of people consider the dog to be a subspecies of wolf, so really their classification is very complicated. The dingo is an ancient lineage of dog, and today it's found in Australia. Famously, it did not originate here, and it was actually thought to be introduced by humans. These animals have been in Australia for at least 3,500 years, as these are the oldest dingo remains found in Australia. When these animals were first introduced, they had a massive effect on the ecosystem, as they became one of Australia's largest predators. They have been blamed for the extinction of many native animals, and a large number of people in Australia view them as a pest. One of the largest fences in the world was built to keep out dingoes, and this fence is around 5,000 kilometers long. One of the main reasons they're viewed as pests is because they feed on livestock, but they also help to combat invasive species too. Dingoes feed on a wide range of animals, and their diet mostly depends on where they're found. Some coastal populations mostly feed on marine animals and birds, whereas others mostly feed on kangaroos and wallabies. Dingoes are very good at hunting invasive species such as European rabbits, and they also help by competing with invasive species such as foxes and cats. Just like with many other wolf subspecies, they are often misunderstood, and these animals are very rarely dangerous. Most attacks occur when people start to feed wild dingoes, and then the dingoes associate people with food. Some people find it easy to treat dingoes badly, but they'd struggle to treat dogs the same way. Yet there is very little difference between the two creatures. It really is a shame that we treat such an interesting creature so badly, and it is one of the world's most iconic wolf subspecies. For our final subspecies, we will be heading over to the Himalayas, as we will be taking a look at the Himalayan wolf. The Himalayan wolf is considered an ancient wolf, as it evolved prior to the contemporary grey wolf which is found in large parts of North America and Eurasia. It is larger than the Indian and European wolves, and they max out at around 60 kilograms. It can be found in areas of China, India, Tibet and Nepal, and of course it's found at very high altitudes. They mostly feed on ungulates such as the Tibetan gazelle, the white-lipped deer and the blue sheep, but they'll also feed on smaller prey such as marmots, pikas and hares. For a long time, little was known about this animal, as it was considered to be just another grey wolf. Recent studies have shown that this really isn't the case, as the Himalayan wolf is truly unique. It has unique genetic adaptations, and these adaptations help it to survive in high altitude ecosystems. Part of the Himalayan wolf's genome allows their blood to better capture and release oxygen. This is extremely important in high altitude ecosystems, and it's what allows them to be such efficient predators. Because they are so different from other grey wolves around the world, many experts believe that they should be classed as a separate species, and this would help with their conservation. For now, they are still classed as a subspecies of grey wolf, but this may change in the future. If you think there are any other wolf subspecies that could have made it into this video, then let me know down in the comments below. But thanks for watching, and until next time, goodbye.